20 horse jet, 14-foot John boat, very strong, pronounced keel. Drain plug right there in the center at the foot of the jet. Will it run shallow? I don't know. We're about to find out. All right, I bought this for one reason. The tip of the jet's just at the surface of the water. It was a total failure. Okay, here she is all buttoned up. Got the top plate in. 1 inch stack on the top, 1 inch stack off the back. Yeah. Got a new toy. It's a jet. I bought this for one reason, because it can stand up on its own. Don't that look tough? Looks like it's ready to go. Just about to blast off. Anyway, yeah. It's I think it's a factory jet. It's a 95. It's a 25 horse power plant. So it's got 25 horse block. But with the jet, the output on a jet makes it 20 horsepower out of the jet. So of course the jet's made for running shallower water, and we'll see how it goes. It's a short shaft, 15-inch shaft. This boat, my boat is 14 foot, 50 inch. It's a 1450. It's how they classify it. Yeah, it's right on there somewhere. 1450. So, or whatever you want to call it. Most of them go by 1448. Actually, through here, through the center, it's like a 6'4" because the sides flare out. So it's heavy. It's a big 14-foot boat, in other words. We'll see. We'll see if that's enough power to get it up on plane and run shallow with it. This is a 20-inch transom. So you're supposed to run a long shaft on a 20-inch transom. Smaller John boats like this come in 15 and 20-inch transom. So this motor is designed to run on a 15-inch transom. I have a 20-inch transom. We'll see how it works. Just looking at it with a tape measure, it's gonna be close. The boat also is a semi-V. It has a semi-V shape to it. It's not a true flat bottom, and it has this heavy gunnel, and that's of course where the drain plug goes for the boat. So it runs a heavy gunnel all the way up through there, and they say that can cause air. The bubbles will, when you're driving the boat, bubbles will build up under the boat as you chop through waves from the front of the boat to the back, and it can introduce air into the intake. Newer John boats, whether they're semi-V or true flat bottom, the back half of this are designed to be flat if you're going to be running a jet. If the hole's designed to be ran with a jet motor, from here to here is flat. This one does not. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's got enough power to push it, get it up on plane. 25s. A 20 horse jet is the smallest jets they make, and you certainly don't want to put a 25 horse on anything bigger than a 14. They say they work as long as you got a stripped down boat with a light load. They say they do all right, but right now my fight is whether the boat's tall enough or not. We'll see. And I'm concerned about the like I say, I'm concerned about the gunnel, the way it's designed. The foot's going to set right on it, and it could introduce air into the jet, which you want to be blowing out pure water and not any air getting mixed in with it to maximize your horsepower. All right, we'll see. Yeah, I might just put it in the living room. Quick thing about this motor, it is a 95. It is pull start. It's 2-stroke, of course, and it's pull start, and has no trim, no hydraulic assist, none of that. So it's lightweight. So if somebody's watching this to like I'm doing here, and we're experimenting, if somebody's trying to figure out if a 25 horse is enough to, a 20 horse jet is enough to push a 14-foot John boat with your gear and another person in it, we're gonna find out together. But I can tell you this, the new motors, this right here with a jet, I believe it sets at 98 pounds. My long shaft is 115 pounds. So right there, you know, I'm trimming 25 pounds or whatever, 20 pounds, 15 pounds. Yeah, something. I ain't trimming it. That's all I know. Anyway, if you're looking into new motors, a new 25 horse, 20 horse jet, whatever you want to call it, I believe they're pushing just over 200 pounds. So, because they come standard with electric start and power trim. So all that adds weight. So buying these older 2-strokes, stripped down, you know, you're saving yourself 100 pounds plus the weight of the starting battery. No starting battery here, and you know how heavy batteries are, so it's something to think about. The weight difference, save a lot of weight. And there's a big difference between having 2 people in the boat, 3 people in the boat. You're almost saving the weight of another human in your boat by going with these 2-strokes. That thing has to be 30 pounds heavier than that jet. It's significantly heavier. It ain't just 10 or 15 pounds or whatever. It's good 30 pounds. Way heavier. Here she is with setting on the boat, dry fit. I do have the factory clamps tightened down just to hold it up there against the transom, see how it looks. Just as it is from the factory, with no shims and no jiving around with it yet. So first off, you can see it's pretty tight to the transom. We're hitting the transom. Trim all the way down. These are your trim slots, your trim tabs. Okay, you want your trim all the way down. Of course, anybody who has an outboard boat knows that to get the best hole shot and get up on plane faster, you want your boat trimmed all the way down. You want it up under the boat. Get a good hole shot and get up on the surface of the water as fast as possible. Especially for running shallow. We're a little low. Okay, the foot needs to come up about 1/2 inch, so at least I know we're long enough with this short shaft. That's a good thing. If this foot would have been, you know, hitting up here or whatever, you know, the motor wouldn't even have worked with the transom. But at least we're just a little long. Looking pretty good. I like the nice tight fit. We'll have to shim this out. Right here you got about 3/4 of an inch in a play right here. Okay, to where you can shim this, put shims in here and bring the motor back. Okay, looks like you can go a maximum about 3/4 of an inch, because right now the jet itself hits the transom. So does the foot. This foot needs to be about 1/4 inch above the bottom of the boat. So got the bottom of the boat right here. Okay, and the tip of this foot needs to hit about right there, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch or so above the boat. But yeah, we'll see. I hope this doesn't give me problems with diverting air bubbles into the intake of the foot. The angle of the foot's real steep, which I don't know if you want it that steep or not, but that angle helps the water shoot into the foot. So you want that angle there, and I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, here's what I've come up with so far. Looks like I'm gonna have to raise the transom 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna start out with this 1/4 inch, this 1/4 inch trim shim here. That's, you know, just plywood, of course. We'll do it upright with aluminum later. That gives me my minimum clearance. See how that does? That also is gonna give me my maximum downward trim for me to get hole shots better. More downward trim you got, the better hole shot you're gonna get, which is most important to me right now, is getting my best hole shot out of the shallowest water possible. We'll have to mimic all that with aluminum later on. Once I get it dialed in, find out where I want everything, and we'll make up a new transom mount for it, a jack plate or whatever you want to call it. But it'll be permanent. I don't want anything where I'm messing with the trim or anything. Just don't want to add that weight that it would take to do that. I know you can get an aftermarket jack plate that don't weigh nothing and they're adjustable, but those also push your motor further back off the transom. I think that causes more splash back there, and it'll push the motor further back away from me, where it make it harder to reach the handle and the reverse lever. So don't want to do that. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about this, but your foot needs to be about a ½ inch higher than the bottom of your boat. Okay, so the foot hits about a ½ inch higher than the bottom of the boat. When your water comes skirting across the back of the boat and comes off here, you want it to hit about right here on the foot. Okay, so if you imagine a flow of water coming off the bottom of the boat, and it'll hit right about here where that hole is. I don't know. I'm gonna find out for myself. Okay, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'm not even gonna embarrass myself and show you that footage. It was a total failure. It's actually the next weekend. That first trip with this block on top of the transom to raise the motor up, it was a total failure. The motor was too high. It's too high just to set up with a V-bottom transom, that's for sure. And having that drain hole right there, yeah, it's just too high. Even at half throttle, I was cavitating. I was sucking in more air than water, I believe, at half throttle even. Never got close to even getting on plane. Never got close to getting half throttle. Yeah, the motor was too high out of the water for this V-bottom. If it was a flat bottom, you know, it'd probably be a different story. But so it's the next weekend. We're gonna go try it again. This is the old block right here, and here's what I got. I got a stack in here. I guess they're 5/8. I don't know, but I'm about 3/8 of an inch shorter on my new stack here. This is the board I had the first time. The motor was obviously too high, because I took the block out entirely, set the motor down flat on the transom in a stock manner, and it did not cavitate at all. But I was losing a lot of horsepower because the case of the jet was dragging through the water. It was too low. So a little bit makes a big difference. So had this one on last week. We're going to take away about a 3/8 of an inch, and I'm taking this stack with me. And if this is still too high, I'll remove this top shim, and we'll see what we get from there. With the motor down on the transom in a stock manner, it did get up on plane and rode pretty shallow. I know I went through at least 6 inches of water and didn't hit, but you know, we can get a little bit better than that. So, all right. Yeah, this V hole is definitely gonna hurt me, but it sure did steer good. There's with that V shape and the ribs in the bottom of the boat to grab the water. Turning was I'm pretty much as good as with the prop drive. So V bottom with the ribs through the center and that sharp keel definitely help on your turning, but it's definitely going to affect how shallow I can run. I don't think I'm going to achieve that 2 and 3 inch mark that here guys talk about, but we'll see. Okay, here we are. We at the lake floating here. This is nobody in it. Okay, I got some weight up front on the bow there. The jet, the tip of the jet's just at the surface of the water, and freeboard we're floating an inch of water, 1.5 inches. Okay, that bottom rib is at about 4 inches, so it's halfway under the water. So she freeboards at about 1.5 inches without me in it. Okay, so that setup worked pretty well. I had a 1-inch stack vertically and a 1-inch stack back off the transom to give me clearance. About a 1/2 inch above the keel there, keeping a pretty steep trim, downward trim. Kind of changed up my thoughts. I have this some sheets of this plastic. It's 1/2 inch thick plastic, and I got this a few years ago. And what it is it's windowsill for the interior side of a and exterior side, if need be, for commercial windows that have a building that's for like a school or church that's got a deep wall, a block wall, or a metal building, and the interior walls have been furred out to frame up the inside. It's a windowsill, so this would go on a windowsill and butt up to the window. It's made out of plastic, some kind of poured resin. The only downfall is it does have some weight to it, but it's definitely going to be waterproof, you know, mildew proof, all that. It's rot resistant, 100% rot resistant. So we'll sandwich 2 layers of it together and it should be pretty strong. It's definitely got some abrasive resistance. It is a windowsill, would be used on interior applications, so it's naturally got some good abrasion resistance for rubbing here and everything. But it's probably not the best strength compression wise, meaning if you tighten a bolt down through it or takes a hard hit, it could crack. But I have it. It's free, and I'm going to give that a shot instead of going out and buying $50 worth of aluminum. Should be, I don't know about its longevity, but we'll find out. It's no big deal to rebuild it later with aluminum if need be, but we're gonna give that a shot. Yeah, ran pretty good. No cavitating, about a 1/4 inch above the keel there. Gonna keep the steep trim on it for my best hole shot, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. I wish I had enough of this. This is all I got here for scrap on this stuff. I wish I had enough to just make one solid plate to mount to the back of the transom, but I don't. It'll have to be cut into smaller strips, just like the scraps were, the test pieces. But should be all right. That smells good. Smells like your head's sunk in a bucket of super glue. Okay, I got the transom side stack done here. I went ahead and offset the top piece. Got 2 pieces here, right? Went ahead and offset the top piece to make it look nice and clean. You know, old woodworking kind of trick. Yeah. When you try and stack 2 pieces together, you cut, you know, it never looks right. The edges are never even, and so you just offset a little bit, like trimming out a window or a door, making a mantle, whatnot. Especially when you got a 25-year-old Makita table saw with original brushes and it's been dropped on its head 16 times and nothing square. Yeah, fancy. Yeah. All right. Okay, here's what we got so far. Got these, the back of the transom here built up and put on. Looks pretty good. Looks legit. Like I said, I'd rather have that all be one piece, but didn't have enough material to do that. So go ahead and get the transom bolts drilled out, the holes for the transom bolts drilled out, and get them set in there and set it in place, and work on the top of the transom. But yeah, I made them extra long, so when I get that 115 horse, it'll fit on there. But yeah. All right, let's get the top built. Okay, here she is all buttoned up. Got the top plate in. 1-inch stack on the top, 1-inch stack off the back. When I turn my motor, it gives me about a 1/2 inch of clearance there between the transom and the jet. But looks pretty good. I got her all bolted in, siliconed up. Yeah, went with a rubber washer stack here on the inside. So yeah, should be pretty good. So yeah, we had to go up 1 inch. It still doesn't give me real great clearance on the bottom, but with that V shape and that strong pronounced keel there, the drain hole, it's as good as I can get. Like I said, when I ran the test stack with the plywood, when I had the wood in here, it was 3/8 of an inch higher, and it was cavitating. So when I dropped it down about 1/4 inch at 3/8 of an inch, it ran great. So I think that's as shallow as I'm gonna get on the foot, which it's not the best, but that's as good as you can expect with a V bottom, I guess. All right, let's go run it on the river. This is my first trip on the river. I'm gonna put it to the test. This is shallow, sandy river. It's a big river, but it's shallow. I'm gonna fill these buckets up with water. I got some cans, coffee cans full of lead in there, batteries, half a bucket of sand. So we're gonna put some weight up front and mimic having another person in here or some gear or whatever. Okay, I'm actually pretty nervous about this. Yeah, it's first time running on the river here. I don't know what it's capable of. I don't know if the motor's gonna fall off the transom. I don't know if the motor's gonna stay running. I rode it for about 20 minutes on a lake. Didn't get it real hot, didn't put it through its paces. But yeah, I'm already hitting bottom here. Anyway, yeah, pretty nervous about it. We're gonna see what it can do. Need my flathead poles. Yeah, the river's totally blocked off here. Come in. Right. Big boy. But anyway, we're gonna run up this way along this bank. Hopefully we can see it gets real narrow through there. And up there at about I don't know, about 400 or 500 yards up here, there's a real shallow channel that cuts right through the sandbar, like this here, but it's narrower. It's about as wide as the boat. Maybe, I don't know, it's maybe like 4 feet wider than the boat. So anyway, here we go.